inside you. Listen to the still voice inside you. It's God in every breath you take. It's God Good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. You've been enjoying the music of Shauna Bradfield on keyboard and a little bit of voice as well. You'll be hearing more from her. So if you could try to find your that's in the exact perfect place for you this morning. So thank you for all the people who helped with the preliminaries today. Rob and I arrived around 9 and there were already, several people here and everything was unlocked. And thank you. We do appreciate both our advance crew and our people who stay to help put things away afterwards. So even though you may not always get acknowledged, just know that you are appreciated. So the first thing on our outline this morning is a reading from Science of Mind magazine, and Stephen Goss has agreed to do that. Amazingly, he said he hasn't done it before. He must have done almost every other function.
Good morning. Yes, I'm functioning. Uh, this is about rising up from whatever you think might be holding you down. Time. Do, do not think that you must wait until you die to know that eternal life in its fullness is here now. If we are incarnations of God, then our spirit is God, individualized, and as such, it must be eternal. This is Ernest Holmes, Living the Science of Mind. The text is, on this day, Christians around the world will celebrate the resurrection of Jesus as their Savior. However, in Science of Mind, Easter takes on a different meaning. Those who practice New Thought view Jesus as a master teacher who led by example, telling people that what he did, they could do. Also, in rising from the dead, he showed that the life is eternal. After life on this earth, life continues. As the consciousness is freed from the body to express in another plane of existence. Ernest Holmes encouraged people to focus on this life, connecting with the heaven within themselves to express their highest and best, letting go of any worries about what may come next. On another level, the resurrection of Jesus offers the lesson that just as a stone was rolled away from the entrance of Jesus' tomb, we too can roll away the stone of our small selves to let our true selves express a higher and deeper level of consciousness. In essence, living from the Christ Spirit within us. Just as Christmas is a celebration of the birth of the Christ consciousness, the consciousness of oneness within each of us, Easter can be a time where we commit ourselves to removing whatever blocks us from expressing the Christ consciousness that is our true nature. We can metaphorically roll away the stone of ego and fear, allowing our true self, the self that sees through the eyes of love and oneness, freedom to express. The affirmation for today, I'll say it first and we can all repeat it. It's pretty short. I am resurrected in spirit, allowing my true self the freedom to express in deeper and greater ways than ever before, including that truck. So it goes, I am resurrected,
I am resurrected.
allowing my true self the freedom
Oh,
to express in deeper and greater ways than ever before.
Well, that's really a good sound because it means they're finished with their work. Yeah. Mm. And within 2 weeks we will have new neighbors. That's what's going on downstairs. In case you were wondering about it. Yeah. Um, it's a doctor. Yeah. Okay, I'm just waiting for the engine sound to get a little quieter or move somewhere else. Hello, hello. Okay, thank you. Okay, well, you know what? I think I will do the welcome to. Oh, okay. All right. All right. So now is the time of our silent meditation. That was a very rich reading that Stephen did, and it even included Libby's title, Roll Away the Stone. So let's just kind of, you know, ponder that. Whatever part of it kind of stood out for you, reflect on it, or otherwise just do whatever helps you to be centered and fully present. Breathing, closing your eyes, whatever works. And I'll do the chimes to signify when that's finished. You bring your consciousness back to this room and welcome to those who just arrived. I'd like to take a minute to ask you if you didn't already, can you please silence your cell phones so that we don't have any uh, unplanned sound effects besides what we already have had? Those are the ones that are more or less under our control. And we will now enjoy a song from our music minister, Shauna.
My name is Shauna Bradfield. The music that you hear this morning is all original music. So I am so grateful that on this Sunday, I get to share my heart with all of you. I have a source, a wellspring within, connects me to life and trees and you and me's and love. You have it too, already in you. Abundance in life and trees and me and bees and love. What I'm waiting for is clear to see. Everything I need is already within me. When we have nothing, we still have love to share in abundance and grace with hope and faith and love. You give me yours and I'll gladly give mine. We'll share in abundance and grace with hope and faith, let it shine. What we're looking for is clear to see. All the love we need is right here within you and me. So this is the part where you get to sing with me. It's easy. This is how it goes. Life and trees and you and bees and love. Can you try that? Here we go. Life and trees and you and bees and love. Sound beautiful. If you hear a harmony, sing it. Life and trees and you and bees and love. Yeah, let's do it again. Life and trees and you and bees and love. Yeah, two more times. Life and trees and you and bees and love. Last time, give me all you got. Life and trees and you and bees and love. Yeah. What we're looking for is clear to see. All the love we need is right here within you and me. You and me, you and me, you and me.
Thank you. Now, I'm in the facilitator chair, but is there somebody else that could possibly walk down and politely ask those people if they could be as quiet as possible for the duration of our service? Steven's good at that. We don't require absolute silence, but those that certain machine. It's not very contemplative, but I think we were singing enough to pretty much drown it out for a little while there. So now I get to if officially, you know what? I'm going to try turning this speaker a little bit. Oh yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, that way. Okay. Okay. Now I get to officially welcome you to New Thought, and this is where I like to find out, is there anybody who's here for the first time this morning who hasn't been to New Thought previously? I don't see any hands. Oh, yes, yes. Two. Wow. Okay. Uh, well, I already know who you are, but can you say for the rest of the people? Welcome, Katie from California. What part, by the way? Oh, we feel sorry for you living in Laguna Beach. No, from one beautiful place to another. And you? Oh, Marcy, wonderful. Welcome. Marcy from Berkeley. Yeah, she's even a member. But nice to see you, Chris. Yeah. So actually, we'll all get a chance to say our name and briefly respond to a prompt in a little while. But since we do have a couple new folks, I should introduce New Thought. Okay, so New Thought Center of Hawaii is a multi faith spiritual community. And our mission is to provide a sanctuary of aloha for the nourishment, development, and evolution of each individual's unique spiritual path. I like the kind of contrast between being a community and supporting individualism. It's kind of like we could be called the Church of the Holy Paradox. And this group evolved from the Kona Community Church of Religious Science, which was incorporated in September of 1971. We've held services continuously from that time, well, nearly continuously. Previously in Keaho, since 1999 in Kealakekua. And thanks to the pandemic, which hit in 2020 and kind of lingered on for a few years, we have developed the technical capabilities to hold our services online if we need to. But right now we're enjoying the best of both worlds. We're here, nice size group for Easter. We're assembled here on the beautiful lanai in Kealakekua, but we also have our online friends who are joining us by way of YouTube, including Takuma in Tokyo, who's usually with us, which means he has to get up at, I believe, 5 a.m. on Monday. So thank you, Takuma. We appreciate your devotion. We are affiliated with International New Thought Alliance, which is not a church, but it's an umbrella organization that brings together groups and organizations that share certain common beliefs and attitudes. And one of them is, this was a phrase coined by Judge Thomas Troward sometime in the, I don't know, 100 years ago probably. So here, but it's the first time I think that New Thought was used in the sense that we use it. A new thought embodied in consciousness produces a new condition. And INTA also it includes many unity and religious science churches, most of which now call themselves Centers for Spiritual Living. Our logo was created by Morty Breyer. You can see the colorful version behind you. And if you look carefully at the center part, many symbols of many faiths are represented there. So I think that's a good intro to what we're all about. It is helpful to have that because our services are so varied. We don't have a single person who wears the minister hat, although today we actually do have an ordained minister. Is the exception rather than the rule. But yeah, so you kind of have to, experience quite a number of services to get a sense of the breadth of what's New Thought Center of Hawaii, and it is still evolving. So whatever it is now, it might be something different in a few months or years, and you can be part of that process. Okay, so now is the time when we get to, everybody gets a turn to say his or her name if you wish to. It's voluntary. And because I figured we'd probably have quite a few people, I'm going to do the prompt this time just to be sure it's really one word. So what I would invite you to share when it's your turn is your name and a flower you love. Okay, let's see.
Mahalo. Jean Gardenia.
Patty Puakinikini.
Shayna Hydrangea.
Stephen Orange Blossom. 2 words, but excuse me. Peace Eagle. Peace Eagle for a year. The Daylily.
Anna Dendrobium orchids. Terry Zinnia.
Barca grass flower.
Marcy Gladiola.
Chris Honeysuckle.
Reagan Purple Iris.
Jan Gardenia.
Randy the Lilikoi Blossom.
Pomaikai Puakinikini.
Liza a Rose.
Elisha Leolani. Parkes.
Deanna, that pink flower.
Nance Magnolia.
Lloyd Hibiscus.
Martha Dogwood. Katie Rose.
Leah Tahitian Gardenia.
I'm Terry Delphinium.
Arlene Pacalana.
Charlie Double Delight Rose.
Vivek Lotus.
Audrey Gardenia.
John Rose.
Libby
Tuberose.
Pasha Lilac. Wow, what a garden we have here. Well, that leads to another song. And this is the one I think Arlene's going to participate too.
I had to phone a friend because when I wrote this song, I could sing higher. So Arlene is helping me with that. I'm burning it down so I can learn to fly, living into my power, unshackle my mind, straighten my crown, release and align. I'm burning it down, and I will rise. Burn it down. I can learn to fly, living into my power. Straighten my crown, release and align. Burning it down. Will you do that again? I want you to do your verse again because she's the bomb at it. So we're gonna try it again. Unshackle my mind, straighten my crown, release and align. Burning it down, and I will rise. I will rise. I will rise. I will rise. From the ashes rises a phoenix. These tears show no weakness. New wings to a new level. My body a vessel. Took a leap of faith to trust me. Listening to my own divinity. Turn away from ego and lies. And I will rise. I will living into my power, shackle my mind, straighten my crown, release and align. I'm burning it down, and I will rise. I will rise. I will clouds all come down, and I've taken flight.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Welcome to the people who just arrived. There are some special activities in progress already with the keiki. I'm wondering if the newly arrived keiki would like to join in that or stay with their parents. They like to join. So, Jean, would you like to try to figure out where they are? They might be. Oh, perfect. Okay, well, that's easy then. By the way, it's Candy has organized the Keiki Fund for today, and Rorden, our regular childcare person, is assisting, and Faith is in the big girl role, probably a little bit of both, participating and helping. Well, now is the time in our service when we open the floor for the sharing of what we call miracles and ordinaries. Ordinaries because they happen in the midst of our ordinary life, and the learning is there for our benefit right now, and miracles because they kind of have the wow factor. They kind of surprise and delight us. And yeah, so if there's anything of that nature that wants to be shared this morning, come on up and we can adjust the microphone for different height people. It's for Stephen right now. So. But come on up, Liza. So she's taller than I am, but shorter than Stephen. Okay.
Okay, I don't really have a miracle. It's an ordinary, but we don't have a house yet on the mainland. I am leaving. This is my last new thought. But the song that she just sang, I'm sitting there crying because I'm leaving all y'all in this beautiful place. But it's like rise, have faith and rise. And that's perfect timing. That's my miracle, ordinary miracle.
The right song for the right moment. Yeah.
So I have a 94-year-old mother that hasn't gone to church for a very long, long time and woke up this morning and decided to go to her church, which is like water. And she seems perky and coherent. And I might have to leave a little bit early to pick her up.
Thank you, Deanna. I'm so happy that your mom had that impulse because now you're with us.
Not exactly sure how you're supposed to use these things, but it sounds like maybe like that. Okay. Before I say a word, I'm just going to take a second and make eye contact with everyone here just for a minute. Some of you I've seen over and over for many years, and some are brand new faces. And I got to bring my friend Marcy here. She's been here. We're only here for 2 weeks, That's okay. I'll be back. All my life, I've wanted, you know how you have a feeling, a negative feeling that comes over and over and over? And mine is loneliness. And those of you who know me know that I make friends really, really easily. And I'm a very loved person. And I've known that for a long, long, long time. But I haven't been able to feel it. And that's shifting big time. And we only arrived on Friday. And wow, already we've done a million things without rushing, which is beautiful. Thank you.
I'm Anna, and this is a likelihood but not a certainty. We've got an offer on a house in Puna, and we should hear within a day or two. So we're very excited, but it would mean coming here only occasionally, which is very sad. But I imagine there are some sister fellowships on that side, and just keep me in your thoughts as we go through the process. It could take a long time to sell a coffee farm, and that's where we are right now.
I think this is going to be the last one so we can give Libby her full amount of time.
My name is Leah. I've wanted to live on this island for the last 38 years, and life logistics allowed 9 months ago. And I have never lived anywhere where friendships have been so generous, kind, aloha, easy to make. I feel so blessed to be here and to have the life I'm living and to make the friends I have. And I just want to thank all of you so much for your love, your compassion, your kindness, and your open acceptability of anybody, no matter who we are, how we are being. And I am practicing daily to being the best and the most loving and kind and compassionate that I can be. And to me, that is what life is about. And that's why we're all on this planet. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you. Those were wonderful miracles and ordinaries. And if anyone was curious about the wiggling fingers, and it's like a modification of the sign language for applause. It's which I guess is just wiggling fingers, but then we kind of raise it up a level. So. Well, it's now my pleasure to officially introduce Libby. Many of you know her already, but I think her connection with our New Thought Center goes back close to a decade to when she and John first lived on this island. But she became a member in September after a rather hasty exit from their home in Maui. And we just feel so blessed by her participation. Soon after joining, she asked if we had a prayer ministry, and learning that we did not, she volunteered to start one. So she's put in time and thought and lots of aloha to that project, and I think she'll be sharing more about it during announcement time, but from starting in late October and to ongoing. So Some of her history is she served as a senior pulpit minister for Center for Spiritual Living Communities for 12 years and a licensed practitioner since 1984. She co-founded Soul Works, which is a depth coaching program. She co-founded it in 2015 and continues to serve individuals through that channel, deepening their connection to presence and more fully living their soul's purpose. Her own spiritual life has been an eclectic mix of East and West. She began her spiritual journey with an interest in Zen Buddhism, which then led to immersion in Vedanta as a monastic. After leaving the convent, Libby moved to Toronto, then Ireland, and landed in California in 1981. And more recently, she has lived in Hawaii, on Maui, and the Big Island. But while in California, Libby really delved into the New Thought teachings. She became a religious science practitioner in 1984 at the Huntington Beach Church of Religious Science. She studied with Reverend Dr. Peggy Bassett, Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, and many other fabulous New Thought teachers. The title for today's talk is Roll Away the Stone. I think Libby is going to give us a new perspective on the Easter story. Please help me welcome her.
Thank you. Thank you. Whew. Well, the Easter story is one of the most profound stories that comes out of the Western tradition. And when I say Western, I mean that loosely because it's really a Middle Eastern tradition. So, and it's incorporated a great deal of the paganism that was natural to European society back in those days. That's what all those Easter eggs are that we've been playing with. For me, I didn't really have a Christian background. And so as I was looking at becoming a minister in New Thought, I thought I better get up to speed because holy moly, almost everybody's going to have that background and I won't be able to relate to it or speak to it. So I got involved with Unity. Unity is one of the New Thought churches that has a more Christian flavor. And I fell in love with Unity. And that's where I decided, oh, I think I want to be a minister. Well, I went off to Unity Village and took a bunch of classes. And while I was there, they had a whole series of classes on the Bible. And their classes were so mind-blowing to me, I had no idea. So they had this metaphysical Bible interpretation that the entire Bible, from its very beginning in Genesis, with the birth of Adam and Eve, all the way up to the end of Revelations, is the story of one human soul, our soul, each of us, that this is our journey. That blew me away. What an interpretation. So back in those days, we really got into the Old Testament because it was so juicy and full of all kinds of drama. And so was I back then. It was great. And I kind of avoided all of this stuff that went on with the crucifixion and the resurrection because it was kind of gruesome, you know, and not very pleasant. And as a kid, I kind of had a little bit of experience because somebody would always take me to their church. One of my friends, you know, they'd have a recruiting thing and they'd bring their friends to church. And I remember sitting in the classroom and learning that they crucified the Avatar, the Messiah. What is wrong with these people? Wow. But then in Unity, when I discovered this is our story, I began to understand how this really works. So I'm going to share with you what I learned about the resurrection and the whole Easter story. So there's a lot of parts to this that we can unpack, and I'm kind of going to simplify it. So let's start with the Palm Sunday, the entrance into Jerusalem. It is a triumphant experience for Jesus. For the last few years, he's been going around the countryside speaking and doing miracles and gaining recognition and notoriety as well. Because as we know, there were not a whole bunch of people in the powers that be that appreciated what he had to say. So this moment of entry into Jerusalem was an incredible triumph. And as he came into Jerusalem, somebody brought a donkey for him to ride on, and they had palm fronds, and they waved him into the city and sang hosannas. This was unprecedented for those times. This was declaring him the Messiah. This was recognizing who he was. What a triumph. What an extraordinary experience. And then what happens next? Well, they go through the week, incredible experiences. And what does Jesus decide to do? Now think about it. You've just had the incredible triumph of your life. You've attained your goal, your life's work. Woohoo! Right? Well, here's what he does. He throws a dinner party for his closest friends. Called the Last Supper, but that's what it was. Dinner party for best friends, incredible triumph. And while he's at the dinner party, of course, don't forget, he's the God realized Messiah. So he has a level of consciousness that is normally not available to the rest of us. And in that moment, he recognized what was coming. He knew. And he turns to his disciples and he says, one of you here will betray me. Now, how many of us have sat at a board table somewhere and looked around and just knew we were going to get that knife in the back by somebody? And everybody at the table, what was it all the disciples were doing? Not me, Lord, not me, Lord, not me, Lord. And then what were they doing? Jockeying for position as the best boy. No, Lord, I love you. I'm your best disciple. I'm the greatest. I'm the this, I'm the that. You can read about that. And I don't think it made much of an impression on Jesus, personally. I don't. Because what did he do? He washed their feet. He didn't say, I'm not washing yours. I'm sorry. No, he washed all of their feet. He got down on his knees and he washed the feet of all that were there. So think about that for a moment. What kind of consciousness would it be if you had had your greatest triumph? You've attained everything that you were here to do at the ego level, and you recognize that your fall is coming, and you wash the feet of that person. Or, metaphorically, you extend yourself in a way to humble yourself before them and honor them and see the God in them, because you know that's the truth of beingness. So this is our lesson too. I'm going to stop that story for just a second because I want to give you some context of how to wrap around this. There is a whole theory about spiritual progress that was written by Reverend Lloyd Strom and Reverend Marcia Sutton, and it's called the Four Kingdoms. If you know the Four Kingdoms, would you raise your hand? Oh, we got a virgin birth in the room. So let me share this with you. The idea is that they're the four kingdoms of consciousness. And the first kingdom is, in a sense, where we begin. It's where we begin as group consciousness. We're all kind of hanging out together. We don't really know what's going on, but we believe we're victims. Everything is happening to us. And that's the word about that first level of consciousness. To us, to me. And so everything is happening to me. And I'm trying to figure out how to navigate life and how to manage this so that I somehow can get through life and be okay. Well, one of the things that happens when we begin to rise up in consciousness is the next level. It's a level of empowerment. It's a level where we begin to understand that our thoughts create our experience. Our belief system is the filter through which we are experiencing everything in life. So, in a sense, we begin to get that I have some power over what happens. Wow! That level of consciousness is where we begin to personalize the infinite divine power that is flowing through us all the time. And that level of consciousness is called by me. First one, victimhood, to me. Second one, I begin to get the power. I begin to use my mind, my thoughts. I begin to consciously choose things, is called by me. And a lot of us spend a lot of time in that area. The next level of consciousness requires surrender. And for those of us that are having a great time over here in By Me, it's usually preceded by something beyond our control. Something comes at us in life that we cannot pray away, we cannot affirm away, we cannot intend away. No matter how much we use that personal power, it doesn't seem to move it an inch. So we all have had an experience somewhere in life. For a lot of us, it's an addiction. And addictions take people into the third level of consciousness as the healing. Because you have to walk into that room and say, I am powerless over my addiction. And you know what? That's hard for anybody in By Me. Those of us that are really affirming our power, it's hard to say I'm powerless over anything. But trust me, it leads to an even higher level of evolution for our soul. Because one of the things we discover when we surrender into that presence is it's much bigger than we are. And now we can let go of our personal need to control and to manage and to manipulate, and we can begin to open up to thy will. And to do that, we have to have a taste of it. We have to have an experience of it. We have to have a sense that that presence is real and personal to us. I know that a lot of times in spiritual life, we're asked to have faith. We're asked to have faith. And it seems especially true in this leap to the third level of consciousness, which is called through me. So the power works through me now. And now we're going to get back to not the Christmas story, to the Easter story. Now we're going to get back to that. So here's how I see the triumphant entry into Jerusalem. It is the goal of by me consciousness. And we get it. And then what happens? There is something that happens. Now, I've read a lot of stories about people in deep spiritual practice, and a lot of them come to a place where it stops working for them. Have you ever had that happen? You could, yep. You just can't pray it away. You have to surrender. And so my example of that is Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. He knows what is coming. And in his prayer, he asks his disciples to join him in vigil that night as he waits for what he knows is coming. And his prayer and is not to push it away. His prayer is not to change it. His prayer is, thy will be done. I accept this cup. Thy will be done. And that's where we go in the third level of consciousness. And that is preparing us for the fourth level. Now, it's my personal belief that a lot of us go back and forth between second level consciousness and third level consciousness, between by me and through me, a lot. Maybe lifetimes, who knows? But I know for me personally, I've been straddling that for many years, many decades. So the shift has to be into letting go of identifying with our personal ego and moving into an awareness of our higher self, our higher power, that we are one with that presence, that that presence is individualized as my personality, as my body mind experience. That this experience right here is the entire universe made manifest as an individual. That realization leads to the fourth level of consciousness, which is what Jesus experienced for us on the cross. I commend my spirit to thee, O Father. That's where we recognize we are one with that. And when we are one with that, there is infinite life for us. There is infinite presence for us. There is infinite power for us. And that infinite presence and power is always channeled through the one, that one consciousness, that one source. And so for Jesus in this story, he exhibited, I believe, all four levels of consciousness for us, to show us that this is our truth, that this is who we are. And so this morning, our question is, where am I playing in the kingdoms? Are there situations in my life that feel out of my control? I want you to know I'm 71 years old. There's nothing I can do about that. This body's got a date stamp on it. Fortunately, I'm in great health. And I've had some challenges. I've had cancer twice, 3 times now, actually. And there's other experiences in life, like the Lahaina fire last year. Nothing I could do about that. If I go back into my victim state, and I do, we all do. But when I go back there, I'm full of fear. I'm full of fear, and I'm desperately trying to figure out strategies. What's the best thing to do? Let me plan, let me figure it all out. And there's a place inside that I can connect in now where I can be calm and I can be open to what's going to happen. That is the through me consciousness. That is the opening into the surrender to the greater yet to be, the greater within me, that presence that is the magnificent source. And so for each one of us, you can look at our ego state, our identification with our ego state, as the stone that's in front of the tomb. And so what part of my ego identity am I clinging to and cannot roll away that stone? Can't budge it. From the third state of consciousness, that stone moves in a blink. It's not even there. There is no stone. What are you talking about? It's all one. It's all this infinite source. And I am absolutely in harmony with what is happening as it's happening now. And there's a part of me that can feel the fear and is locked into that stone. And so for us in this experience of Easter, we can ask ourselves this morning, What are the daily practices that I do to move my identity from my little individual body self into my higher, more expansive awareness where I am one with all? Not just people, all. What do I do? How do I practice that? I know folks who, when they go for a walk or a swim or paddleboard, it's an extraordinarily expansive spiritual experience for them. This is how they begin to let go of the ego and merge into that oneness. For other folks, it's meditation, it's prayer, or it's spending time with friends. Anything that assists us in letting go and rolling away the stone. And so I have a little funny something for you here. This is from Ram Dass this morning. I had to grab this off the Facebook page, that great source of illumination. And I personally loved Ram Dass a great deal. He was always amusing and always able to raise the consciousness in the room. And he says, you have everything in you that Buddha has, that Christ has. You have everything in you that Buddha has and that Christ has. You have it right now. Right now. So what are you waiting for? But only when you start to acknowledge it is it going to get interesting. So we need to acknowledge that. I have that within me. There's only one mind in the universe. If there's one soul having a story that's delineated in the Bible or anywhere else on the planet, am I willing to move to my next level in this story and on this journey? Because the end is assured. The end for all of us is awareness of our infinite divine presence as self, as who we are. Your problem is you're afraid to acknowledge your own beauty. So that's how he saw it. I'd say your power, your oneness. There's a lot of things we could say, but he calls it your beauty. We're afraid to acknowledge our beauty. So what would happen if you acknowledged how beautiful you are? How you are love incarnate? How you are this infinite divine presence made flesh? And each one of us are. If you could acknowledge that, he says you're too busy holding on to your own unworthiness. Wow, is that not the truth? That is so true for me. I can so relate to that. There's that part of us that wants to pick apart everything we do, everything we say, forget it. It's just disgusting. So we get in this trance. We're entranced by these voices of our unworthiness. We believe it's true. And then he's kind of denigrating here. He said, you'd rather be a schnook sitting before some great man. That fits in more with who you think you are. Well, enough already. I sit before you and I look and I see your beauty, even if you don't. So what would that be like for us if we could acknowledge our own beauty today? If we could move our awareness into that place that is beyond death, it is beyond our own little experience. And we opened to that presence that is the source of us, and we agreed to rise up. The stone is already gone then. There is no stone. Eric Butterworth gave some wonderful encouragement. He's a great unity minister. He's probably passed away now. But in the 1950s, he was very influential. And if you haven't read Eric Butterworth, I highly recommend him. And so he's going to give us in this paragraph I'm going to read to you an idea about what it would be like to practice Christ consciousness, which is our higher self. That's our awareness of who we are this Easter and moving forward. And so he says the eternal truth of the Christ is not simply something to look forward to. See, that's putting it out there. We're looking forward to our own ascension. We're looking forward to our own enlightenment. We're looking forward to when we finally get it. It is something to look forward from. He's inviting us to hold the consciousness of the Christ as our individualized experience and to look from it. Don't look forward to the time when you can become the spiritual genius that you feel you can be. Look forward from that genius, which is the reality within you. As I often say, prayer is not a matter of reaching out or up. Prayer is a matter of accepting the unfolding of the divine process within you. So I say, don't pray to God. Because to pray to God is to put God out there, to make a separation, to beg and plead, and try to draw something from the straw man we've created. Don't pray to God. Pray from the consciousness of God. All the power in the universe exists right where you are, right now. That is praying with the consciousness of that Christ presence within us. Be still and know that I am God. Get the sense of isness, presence, and pray from that consciousness. Protect that consciousness. Your prayer then becomes a projection. It has tremendous power and life. What you've eliminated is something out there that's never really existed except in your thoughts and feelings and fears. What you've done is become who you truly are. So what I'd like to do is have us just take a moment to close our eyes and turn within. And take a deep breath and just feel into your body. And give thanks for your life, that you are here, you are on the planet at this time. And know that this presence of the infinite source is one with you right now, is you. Just feel that as the awareness behind your awareness. It is the light that your eyes see with. It is the source of your consciousness. So as we take a deep breath, we become aware that we are aware. And this awareness is eternal and infinite. It is always with us. And it never forsakes us. And so knowing that, I invite you to make a vow to this presence if you're so inclined. That this Easter, you do rise up. You do accept who you really are. You do move your awareness into this open, spacious acceptance that life is living through you, as you, and it is one with that infinite God of good. breathe that in and see if you can anchor that all the way down to your feet. And then open your eyes and let that go. Thank you.
I love that open, spacious place. Thank you for taking us there. Mm. We will be passing the koa bowl shortly, and I came across these quotations from Charles Fillmore. So Libby was talking about that she was very inspired. She had a unity phase. She was very inspired by that. So he was he and his wife were the founders of Unity. And I remember when I first discovered New Thought, I was interested in their attitude towards money. It was kind of different, like instead of money is the source of all evil and some of those other stereotypes, it was like kind of a more, you know, neutral attitude, really, that money's a form of energy, basically, and what's important is, how you use it. That if you put it to good use, it can actually be very helpful. And I'm going to read a couple of his quotations and then start the bowl circulating. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving, knowing that as I do so, divine love bountifully supplies and increases substance to meet my every need. Okay, so with that good thought, we'll start the bowl around, knowing that it's going to bless you just as much as it blesses New Thought. And then, and we will be enjoying some offertory music at the same time as soon as we get our technology working right.
Will make you move? What'll inspire you to change what you do? What will make you move? What inspires you? What inspires you? You move heaven and earth to get what you want. Move the mountain between us. When you're confident, oh, but what will make you move? What will inspire you to change what you do? you give your take on who and how to be, what to do and where to go, and how to be free. But what will make you move? What inspires you to change what you do? What will make you move? What inspires you? What inspires you? Earth is moving under your feet. You're shaken to your core. You're not who you were before. You can be so much more. There is more to see. Move beyond the door. Get up off your seat. There is so much more. What'll make you move? What inspires you? What inspires you to move? What will inspire you to change what you do? Be the change you want to see. Fill your life with light. There is no wrong or right, only good and good inside. We're all one family. We can't comply or stand by. Look in for clarity, then reach out to unify and move. We'll be the change. We'll change what we do and move. We'll change what we do. So what will make you move? What inspires you? What inspires you?
All right. Thank you. And my goodness, you created all three of those songs you shared. They're so perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. I find that happens. I didn't know what Libby was going to talk about, and I didn't know the premise of the service, except that it was, well, Easter service for us. And somehow, every single time, it incorporates itself.
Even the first one, were you aware of her fire experience, the burn it up and rise?
I went with the rise part of it because Easter is about rising.
Yeah.
And the fire is because I'm a fire walker. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
lots of fire stuff happens in my world.
Thank you. And thank all of you for your contributions. We'll do our best to put them to good use. And so I'm going to invite Libby to share her announcements first before I do the New Thought announcements.
Well, the first thing I wanted to share with you guys is that those of us who've been on the prayer team, that the way that the prayer is created naturally moves you through the kingdoms. And so that's just a little something for those of you on the prayer team, that starting with the moving into what God is, that's already elevating us up out of the concerns we have that we're going to be praying about, and moves us into the consciousness of God. And now we pray from the consciousness of God. And so that's why the prayer is one of the reasons it's structured the way it is. And that's an announcement I wanted to make to everybody, is our prayer team is up and running now. So we have prayer requests, And you can make a request on Sunday. I don't know where they are right now. They're under the pyramid. What an appropriate place for them to be. Okay, so you could grab a prayer request if you've got anything in your life that you would like prayer on. There are about 9 people on the prayer team right now. We each receive that prayer and pray on it with you. You will never get a phone call or an email from us. So this is to protect your confidentiality. We want you to know that if a prayer comes into it, we never talk about it, that it is private, and that it's your business. But if you don't hear from us, it doesn't mean we're not praying over it. In fact, it's our agreement that we pray for 1 week over your requests. You can also make the request online. Is that correct on the website?
Full, so it will be in the newsletter and on the website, but you folks are here today or online, so you're getting the message first. So you can send that to the email of New Thought, spirit@newthoughtcenter.com, and if that, you can grab one of those little cards that is, could you hold one up,
Business
please,
card?
Chris? Yeah, that has the email address of New Thought. You can send it to that. But also, if you're already on the newsletter list, if you just click reply to your newsletter, it will also get to that email.
Oh, nice. That's easy.
Yeah, that's the easiest way. But you're here now, and there's some paper copies. And if you choose to do it that way, we have this elegant box that's been looking for a purpose for a long time. It has a carved turtle on top of it.
Oh, it is
so you
beautiful.
can put your there. See, she's demonstrating. She's submitting the first one. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. So we'll have that out every Sunday from now on. And
I have one more announcement.
yeah, okay, go ahead.
So I have one last announcement, and that is I'm going to be teaching a 4-week class, but it's up in Waimea. It's at Tutu's house, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturdays, the 4 Saturdays of April. And what I've done is distilled my favorite spiritual practices into 4 weeks. And I'm going to be sharing them with everyone. So you're invited to join us there if you'd like. And I believe there's also a Zoom component to this. If you don't want to drive all the way to Waimea, I totally understand that. So you would go to cslwh.org, and on the website you can register for the class online if you'd like.
Thank you. And maybe if they're willing to share it, we could put it on our website too. And because we've had it, the intention for some time that we want to have closer relations with the other churches that are similar in philosophy.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. So the New Thought announcements, the most important one, I think most of you are aware of it, but we have a potluck right after our closing circle today. And we hope that you can stick around. And I'm pretty sure there'll be more than enough food. So even if you didn't know it was a potluck, you're still very welcome. The other announcements, well, we do have Sunday services consistently, 10 o'clock. You can come in person or tune into the live stream by way of YouTube. We provide free childcare as long as we know that it's needed. We request the reservation by Friday, and that can be done the method we were describing. Click reply to your newsletter, or I think there's also some alternate. There's a phone number given, I think, in the newsletter also, if you prefer to do it that way. The next 3 Sundays, here's what you have to look forward to. Next Sunday, Kahu Ke Aloha Sugiyama. It'll be his first time speaking to us. His topic is Aloha, the love of God present. music by Benjamin Marantz. The following Sunday, the 14th, there's been a change. This is the third person we thought was going to present on that day, but I think this one really will. It's Heather Viana Reynolds, and she's waiting for clear guidance on her topic. But the music will be by Dick Franklin. And the 21st of April, we will be hearing from Lee Shapiro. He lives most of the time on Maui and some of the time in Aspen, Colorado. And yeah, this will be his first time speaking to us in person for several years, although he did an online presentation for us during the pandemic. His topic is Synchronicity and Miracles, and the music will be by Mahina and Christina. Our weekly Tai Chi class continues. It's ongoing, 4:30 to 5:30 on Mondays. Jinan Wang teaches Tai Chi, Qigong, all levels welcome, $15 per class. But if you pay on the first Monday of the month, which would be tomorrow, is that right? Yeah. You can get a discounted rate of $48 for the whole month. It's a savings of $12, and it sort of gets you to feel more committed because you want to get your money's worth. The 3 monthly events we offer at New Thought, the one is the end of the month potluck, which is today. And the produce giveaway is the first Sunday of the month. So that will be happening next week. But some people, their trees just couldn't wait. So there's and even Terry's been having a great lettuce harvest. So there is actually some giveaway produce today, and it's back on the finished wood counter on the, let's see, that's the southwest corner. Okay, Crystal Bowl meditation is the second Sunday when that next happening on April 14th, 9 a.m. It's prior to the main service. You can come to that and the main service, or if you have another commitment, you can just come for the Crystal Bowls and then get on with your day. As far as special classes and events on our calendar, Lee Shapiro will be doing an afternoon seminar on the 21st, the same day he presents. He's calling it Melting Conflict in All Relationships. It's a three-hour seminar. He said he's distilled it down from being a full weekend to then one day, and now he's really got the essence of it down. So it will be very concentrated and wonderful, and he's asking a suggested donation of $35. He wants everybody to come that's interested. And if you aren't on our newsletter list and want to be, sign the guest book and write your email address clearly. That's the surest way to be up to date on what's happening at New Thought. You can also visit the website. That's the next best, probably. So I think that's it for New Thought announcements. And let's see, Shauna, I don't think she's going, but that's okay. I think she isn't quite ready to do the accompaniment for Hawaii Aloha yet. This is her first time being solo music minister. Maria involved her as a part of the quartet last time, but we'll see. We'll give her the sheet music so she can do that next time. But for now, we're going to do it. We're going to form a nice big circle and do it a cappella. Do we have a volunteer to lead? Just start us off and lead the. Okay, I was hoping.
I don't need a mic. You need for the online. Oh, for the online. Da-dum, da-dum. Don't be falling now. Gather up, little children. All right.
You can have free hands.
I don't need a microphone. We're all going to sing. I find if I use a mic, that's all you hear.
Oh. Okay. All right. I'll hold it. All right. 1, 2, 3. E Hawaii e kumone ana kuhome kuani mine ori no hani no kono nani e Hawaii aloha e haoli na o kio o Hawaii ne oli mai na ahe makani e pamai Mau ke aloha no Hawaii e haoli na o kio o Hawaii me oli mai na ahe makani e pamai mau ke aloha no Hawaii mau ke aloha no Happy Easter!